Hello everyone, I'm Sean.
This is Hoon.
And we are the Courageour Frights, back once again to do another movie review.
Yes.
This time we did Godzilla times Kong equals the new Empire.
Yes.
The latest equation from mathematics genius Adam Wingard.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So this is the newest Godzilla and King Kong movie.
Yes, in the Monsterverse.
Yes, in the Monsterverse from Legendary and Warner Brothers. The good people at Warner Brothers.
Yeah. They do no wrong.
Thank God this didn't become a tax write-off.
Yeah, this could have easily been a tax write-off.
Because apparently at the time of this recording, this is the #1 movie of 2024.
Yeah.
And has grossed almost $200 million worldwide. So
Zaslav had it on his list.
He probably did.
It was it was almost to a tax write-off.
Could have got a $20 million tax write-off.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, this movie follows up from Godzilla vs. Kong, which I think was a 2021 film.
Yeah.
And continues the story that was left off there. You have Kong down in the Hollow Earth, Godzilla up on the surface, and they're supposed to be like kings of their respective domains.
Yeah, Kong is down in the Hollow Earth. Godzilla is everything else.
Yeah, Godzilla controls everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kong only knows about 5% of the Hollow Earth to begin with, so he's just kind of in a hole in the ground.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, without getting into the spoiler aspect of things, I thought this movie was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. It's a very fun movie.
Yeah, it's very entertaining. There's lots of fast-paced action.
Yeah. Some
really cool kaiju moments in there. Yeah. Like, it's just a cool movie.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a great movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not the best movie in the world. But
no, it's no -1.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be.
No.
We already got -1. We just got that 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, this is showing that throughout the entirety of Godzilla's history, there's always been, like, the serious drama Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
Which there's, like, a handful of. And then there's, like, ones that are, like, semi-serious and semi-campy.
Yeah.
And then there's ones that are just crazy, off-the-wall nonsense.
Yeah.
And that's what this one is. But it's no dumber than a lot of the things that happened in, like, the 60s or 70s Godzilla movies. Like, we just watched a couple clips from King Kong vs. Godzilla, the 1962 film. And... like, this isn't any dumber.
Yeah. Than that. They just needed to take that scene where King Kong just rolls his head into the ground. Rolls head first into a rock.
He's like beating Godzilla and then he just somersaults face first into a rock for no reason.
He just has a bunch of concussions constantly.
Yeah, Godzilla's got a brain about the size of a walnut.
Yes.
King Kong is a thinking man, a thinking animal, they say in the movie, as he goes head first into a boulder.
Godzilla has a brain about this size. He is sheer brute force. While Kong is a thinking animal. His brain is considerably larger.
Yeah, so nothing like that happened in this movie.
No.
But there is some outrageous stuff going on in this movie. As everybody knows, you can see in the poster right there that King Kong has the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Or Optimus Prime's arm, whatever. So it's got some crazy stuff. But even that is an homage to a couple things, because I think it's a combination of Mecha Kong, like an homage to Mecha Kong or Mechana-Kong, from King Kong Escapes, or from the fantastic King Kong animated show.
Yes, that animated show.
With the fiendish Doctor Who.
Yes.
And the lightning powers that he has, that randomly he gets in King Kong vs. Godzilla.
That was weird. He's like, Kong gets powered up by lightning. How do you know that?
Yeah, it's like, there's no information in the film that suggests that that's a thing.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just happens. But in this film, they at least try to explain it.
Yeah.
Likewise, some of the stuff that Godzilla does in the 70s, like his famous tail drag drop kick from Megalon,
Yeah.
Or the fact that he flies with his own heat breath in Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster.
Yes.
Some of that stuff happens here, but it happens in a segment where... Or something like it happens here, but it happens in a segment where they're in a 0G, like no gravity bubble.
Yeah.
So it makes sense within the context of the film. Now, how that comes to be is a lot of technobabble and exposition.
Yeah.
Which is like one of your big problems with this movie.
Yeah. It's like all your main human characters are just exposition dumps. That's literally all it is. All they are there is just to tell you what's going on.
Yeah, basically. So, like, if you're one of these people who wants compelling human characters in your monster movie, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what -1 is. But this movie's not that. But, again, like, they're just exposition dumps. But this movie was as close as you can possibly get to a kaiju movie with no humans.
Yeah, which I'm actually alright with the exposition dumps, because we already had our characters, like, pretty much we know everyone's backstory, because this is the third or fourth, fifth movie or something in this franchise.
Fifth movie in the Monsterverse, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like we already kind of know what most characters are, so...
Right, and the two main characters of this... Well, three, I guess. Three of the main characters are from the previous movie.
Yeah.
So, like, we already know who they are.
Yeah.
And the heart of the film is still the little girl Gia, played by Kaylee Hottle, and her mother, who's... Eileen Andrews.
Like a scientist or something.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like the foremost expert on Kong. That's Rebecca Hall's character. Those are like the heart of the film. And then beyond that, the rest of those stories told from Kong's perspective pretty much.
Yeah, because it's like, to me, it kind of feels like Godzilla was kind of like put in later.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like, because there's how long is this movie? Like
an hour and 45 minutes.
Hour and 45 minutes. Before you even get to that point where like Godzilla actually shows up, you probably see Godzilla maybe like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10, not even 15 minutes, I don't think.
Godzilla's entire plot is just charging up for something big.
He goes to one like nuclear reactor to another nuclear reactor.
Yeah, he's just trying to become Super Saiyan.
Yeah, and then at one point he turns into Ezra Miller and then kills someone.
Okay, so like I guess we're going into spoilers here. Non-spoiler, we both like the movie. Yeah. It's not fantastic, but it's a lot of fun.
It's good. It's good to be... Like, if you're looking for something to watch... Yeah. Like, this is one to watch.
Yeah, it's got a lot... It's very fast-paced. Yeah. It's entertaining as hell. Like, it's not... Like, it's fun. Yeah. I mean, we don't do number ratings anymore, but it would probably be like a 7 or something. Like, it's not groundbreaking, but it's, like... It's constantly got something going on. Yeah. It's got a lot of cool ideas. So, the thing with Godzilla in this movie is, like I said, I'm pretty sure this movie was supposed to just be a King Kong movie initially.
It feels like it for sure.
Because when this was first announced, they were talking about a Son of Kong movie. Yeah. And that's kind of what this is. Because if you've seen the toys or the trailers, you know that there's a little Kong. Yeah. A mini Kong, if you will. For some reason, they thought that was really funny because they put it in all the trailers. Yeah. But anyway, it's Suko. He's like a baby Kong. Yeah. He's probably Scar King's kid actually because he's orange.
Yeah, because I think you see like a bunch of like, because Scar King's kind of like he's like a tyrant or something.
Yeah, it looked like all the babies had red hair.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was just like the harem king.
Yeah, I don't know what his harem around his throne.
Yeah, pretty much. And they all had like kids, so
yeah, I'm sure he was just... it looked like the little babies all had red hair. But anyway, yeah, Suko is Scar King's kid probably, and then Kong like adopts him. Yeah. And the Son of Kong trope has been around since the original movie, because like the same year that came out, Son of Kong was released. Yeah. So you think studios were into cash-ins now? Yeah. Like 1933, they rushed a movie out like within months. Yeah. Just to capitalize on the first one that they didn't even know was going to be a success at the time. Yeah. So, but yeah, here we're basically doing a Son of Kong. That was called Kiko. Was the name of that Son of Kong. This one's Suko. So even that's probably a reference.
Yeah, that's definitely a reference.
But yeah, Godzilla has very little to do here. The only thing he does is he beats up Scylla, who is a sort of spider crab titan.
Yeah, it's like, that's like That's like if you see the trailer when Bob the Builder gets killed.
Yeah, R.I.P. Bob.
Yeah, you'll see him. That's where you fight. He's fighting Skilla or whatever that.
Yeah,
monster.
I think it's called Skilla.
Skillerix or whatever. Dubstepping his way to death.
Skillerix or something. Skrillex.
Yeah.
So yeah, Skrillex is a Titan that was introduced in King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
And then was in some of the comics. And then the most recent comic, Godzilla Kong the Hunted or whatever.
Yeah.
Is a prequel to this. And Godzilla's entire plot in that is hunting Skilla.
Yeah.
So Skilla, for some reason, decided that he'd try to make a grab for the throne or whatever.
He decided to want to die, I guess.
Yeah, he
decided to want to die.
He woke up and decided and chose death.
Yeah.
So Skilla just woke up and chose violence and decided to raid a bunch of power plants and try to build himself up, or her, whatever the gender is, to fight Godzilla. And then all that build-up happens in the final panel. It's like Rome, and then it's like, the continuation in the new movie, Godzilla Kong the New Empire. Well, the continuation is a 2-second long fight.
Yeah, it's not very long. He literally comes up and just dies.
Godzilla Shoryukens it.
Yeah.
And then just does the kiss of death fire breath down the mouth, like with the Muto. And then, so Godzilla is supposed to be the guardian, the protector. So, as we learned from Ken Watanabe, Godzilla is supposed to be the one that brings balance. Mm-hmm. And so, him killing Skilla, who's going around trying to destroy, take over power plants or whatever, makes sense.
Yeah.
Then Godzilla decides to go to the North Pole, break into Tiamat's domain. Yeah. So Tiamat's like a big sea serpent dragon thing.
That's because it's where the solar rays or something.
Yeah, it's like in Greenland.
Yeah.
So the solar rays are like the highest there. Solar radiation is the highest there in the world. So Godzilla can supercharge. But Godzilla Tiamat's not doing a damn thing.
No. He's sleeping or something.
He's sleeping in his house. Godzilla breaks into the home.
Yeah.
Murders him. Yeah. And then just sleeps in his bed.
Yeah, literally, comes in there, calls her a whore, steals his alcohol, kills him, and then sleeps in his bed with no pants on.
Yeah, this is Ezra Miller behavior.
Yeah, Ezra Miller. Peak Ezra Miller behavior.
No wonder. Well, I mean, Godzilla's running around like the Flash in this movie, so
that is true.
Yeah, maybe he took on some Ezra Millerisms.
Yeah, pretty much.
But what is that? How is that supposed to be the balance?
Yeah, it was weird. It's like Tiamat was just minding. It's not even doing anything.
No, he's sleeping in its domain,
and it just died.
That was weird. And so Godzilla just murdered this Titan.
Yeah,
for no reason. Well, not for no reason, but not a legitimate reason.
It was literally it was just trying to sleep, and it was oh, now I'm getting my home is getting attacked. Let me just die.
I guess I'll just die now.
Yeah.
So Godzilla charges up. He learns the Kaioken times 20.
Yeah.
So he's got 20 times the power level now.
And then he becomes Rose.
Yeah, and he turns into Super Saiyan Rose. And then Kong.
And that's all of Godzilla's scenes.
That's Godzilla's entire plot.
Until you get to the point where it's you need Godzilla to show up.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, and then it's fight Kong for a bit until they realize that, this threat has emerged in the Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
And then they go down to the Hollow Earth and deal with it. So the rest of the movie is Kong's storyline.
Yeah.
And Kong's storyline is, at first, the story is basically he's lonely, which has been his whole thing.
He's trying to find other Kongs, because he hears a frog doing some sort of...
Yeah, there's a...
a yell or something.
He has a big frog that sounds like a Kong.
Yeah.
For some reason.
And he's oh, let me go see him, and he's lonely, because he's by himself.
Yeah, so his whole thing is he's lonely, he's got a toothache.
Yeah.
So he goes up to the surface to get his teeth fixed.
Yeah.
And Star-Lord shows up.
Yeah, and then fixes his tooth.
Yeah, English Star-Lord appears, Dan Stevens. And he sings into a winch.
Yeah.
Which, it's very obvious they're trying to do a Star-Lord thing.
Yeah.
And then he extracts his tooth and he gives him a metal tooth that he just happens to have lying around.
Yeah.
They just have
perfectly shaped metal teeth.
They have Kong fangs on standby.
Yeah.
And that's when we're reintroduced to Gia and Dr. Andrews.
Yeah, and at this whole point we were hearing you keep getting like these weird signals or something like that. They're like seismographs. You're getting this like weird symbol or whatever.
Yeah, it makes like these 3 triangle pattern.
You learn it's almost like an SOS coming from somewhere.
Yeah. For some reason, nobody can figure this out, so they go to... Well, Gia's having nightmares.
Yeah.
And, like, these bad dreams, and she thinks she's going crazy.
Yeah.
So, her mom, Dr. Andrews, is, like, desperate to solve what's going on.
Yeah.
So she goes... For some stupid reason, they go to Florida and they get the podcast guy.
Yeah.
Why is he the expert?
Yeah, I know. He's, like, smarter than everyone else. He's like, we've seen this before. I went to my Discord.
Yeah.
And then someone would compile all this information.
I had to call in some favors from my Discord chat.
Yeah, my Discord mods.
And by the way, he has this chair.
Yeah, I know.
And he's using...
And this mic.
And he's using this mic, which you also have.
Yeah,
so
this mic here.
This mic. So, just plug in that there. We've got the same setup as that guy.
So he's a HyperX Quadcast.
Yeah, he's got a HyperX, Quadcast. But, yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But it's like, why him? Like, so, because he thinks outside the box?
Yeah.
Well, he's a conspiracy theorist, of course he does.
He probably has everything with him, I guess.
I guess. I mean, they could have gotten Giorgio Tsoukalos or whatever.
Yeah, they could have.
Send him down there.
It's aliens.
Aliens. He says that.
Yeah, he says that at one point.
He says ancient alien astronauts. Something. But, so they get him, they all gather together, after Kong gets his tooth fixed.
Yeah.
He comes out of anesthesia, and then he, like, jumps in the hole.
Yeah, because they're like, we're not getting any reading from our, like, base in the Hollow Earth, so something might have happened to them. We need to go investigate.
Right, so they go down there, they take a heave, the name of the ships, which is a rather unfortunate name. They take a heave, and then they go into the hole, and it's like a weird time... Well, they did this in the last movie, too.
Yeah.
The vortex thing that almost looks like when they warped in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's like the Guardians of the Galaxy warp thing.
Where they have... Except for they don't get, like, Looney Tunes eyes, but almost. And then they end up back down there. Kong goes back to his lair, and he finds this big hole in the ground.
Yeah.
And then he goes down into the pit. And then we get this weird scene where they go... exploring around the area. They find that something destroyed the base that was there, and it's kind of funny. I thought it was funny because Dr. Andrews was like, what could have done this? It's like literally anything, lady. Like, have you seen what's down here?
Yeah, he's seen what's down here because like everything's gigantic and they're killing you and they want you to die.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, but 10,000 things could have done this.
Yeah.
But they see a handprint on the wall.
Yeah, it's like a red handprint. They're like, is that Kong's?
But they realize the fingers are too long.
Yeah.
So it has to be Lanky Kong.
Yeah, it's Lanky Kong.
It can't be Donkey Kong. His fingers are too long. So anyway, Kong goes and finds... While Kong's investigating, he finds Suka.
Yeah.
So Suka Blat and his trio of... like Russian mobsters.
Yeah.
I'll try to jump Kong.
Yeah.
So it's like these random apes just show up and try to jump Kong, and Kong beats the hell out of them.
Which I was actually kind of interesting. I kind of like there's like another layer underneath the actual like Hollow Earth.
Yeah. It was like a video game when you go to like, because it said subterranean realm, uncharted
realm.
And it was like when you like unlock a new section of the map.
Yeah.
And
like acclaimed Kong video game or whatever.
Yeah, that fantastic King Kong game that I streamed like in a gorilla costume.
Yeah.
I'll have to get back to that when we start streaming again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Suka shows up, and then Kong, there's a fight between Kong and the other gorillas.
Yeah.
And at one point, Kong picks up Suko, starts swinging him around.
Like as a weapon.
Like clubbing the other apes. It was great. It's fantastic. But anyway, yeah, he beats them, and then he basically forces Suko to take him to their lair.
Yeah. But Suko's like Gollum at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Kind of looks like Gollum.
Yeah.
And he double crosses Kong at one point, tries to get him killed by like a river snake thing. Which may or may not be a reference to King Kong Escapes, because there's like a sea snake that Kong fights.
Yeah.
Also, Kong fights a snake in the 1976 Kong as well.
Oh, okay.
So Kong randomly fights snakes from time to time. And so eventually Suko takes him there, and then we it's kind of a weird exposition thing where it's not a flashback, it's like a flash present. It's a little weird because Dr. Andrews, Gia, and the other guys, there's some Scottish guy that he gets eaten by a tree.
Yeah.
And then they end up finding ruins that look like Iwi ruins from Skull Island. And they go in there, and then they discover that there's a whole like civilization of Iwi that are still alive down here. So then, of course, Gia is more fascinated by that because those are like her people.
Yeah.
And she finds out a lot of stuff. She finds out that Mothra exists.
Yeah.
And Mothra is being worshipped in this temple.
Yeah.
So Mothra is kind of the big spoiler, but like the Chinese trailers didn't give a shit because they revealed the whole thing like a week ago.
Like, screw it, we're gonna put Mothra in there.
Legendary was trying to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mothra.
Okay, I think in the trailer, our trailer, the American trailer, they have there's one scene where they're in the desert.
Yeah, and they're looking up at the sky.
Yeah, but that's actually was Mothra in the background.
And we said that in our trailer breakdown.
Yeah.
And I was told by people on Facebook that that's the sun.
Yeah, that's the sun.
Godzilla and Kong are both staring into the sky in amazement at that ball of light that they've never seen before.
Going blind because the retinas are being destroyed.
They're like, oh my god, you seeing that up there?
Look at them sunspots.
Look at that light.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, that is Mothra.
Yeah.
And then it turned out, it's Mothra.
It's Mothra.
So, yeah. And that's why I got out of all those groups on Facebook.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they discover that Mothra is down there, and apparently, for some reason, an Iwi from Skull Island is required to wake up Mothra.
Good thing she didn't die.
Yeah, that would have been awkward.
Yeah, if they didn't have her, then they would not be able to awaken Mothra.
Yeah, which Mothra is like already awake. I don't. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
So anyway, they find all the Iwi down there, and then they find a bunch of like cave drawings.
Yeah.
And it tells the entire plot of the movie.
Yeah, why Scar King is where he's at.
And what else. Scar King is. So we find out that all the apes that are down there are like, not necessarily evil, but they're controlled by this guy called Scar King.
He's like he's like a tyrant.
Yeah, he's like this weird, like orange chimpanzee.
Yeah, with weird eyes.
Yeah, with blue eyes that are like cataract filled or something.
Yeah.
And he has, if you've seen the toy, you know, he has like a spine whip.
Yeah.
I think it's called a whip slash, actually.
Whip slash.
And so anyway, while she's telling us that, Kong goes and finds him.
Yeah.
And the people are getting beat up. Because for some reason, he has all these apes down there, but he has the apes pushing blocks around.
Yeah, I know.
They don't seem to be building anything. They're just pushing a block from one side of the room to the other side of the room, and then back again.
Back again. It keeps doing that over and over again for no reason whatsoever.
It's like, I feel like because these guys are apes.
Yeah.
Like, Scar King must have gone up to the surface one time and saw... Well, we find out one of those holes goes to Egypt.
Yeah.
He must have climbed up to the surface and saw the ancient Egyptians hauling blocks.
Yeah.
But didn't see them actually use them to build the pyramids.
Yeah.
He didn't understand why they were doing it, but he liked the idea of it.
Yeah.
Because he saw taskmasters whipping people, and then them carrying blocks, and he's like, wow, that's a great symbol of power.
Yeah.
So now he's just making his own people just haul blocks back and forth.
Over and over again for no reason at all.
With no goal in mind.
Yeah.
He's a thinking animal. His brain is considerably larger.
But anyway, Kong goes down. It's almost like a Temple of Doom scene.
Yeah.
Where they're like whipping the kids or whatever. And Kong like stops the one guy. Dude gets in his face and starts screaming at him. And Kong just like punches him right in the face. And
Kong's like gigantic compared to everyone else.
Yeah, Kong's bigger than everybody, including Scar King.
Yeah.
Scar King's not imposing, but his physicality's not the threat.
Yeah, he's more like he's a thinker, I guess.
He's a thinking
like
animal.
A deceiving.
He's a thinking animal like Kong.
Yeah.
He's a thinking animal.
He also somersaults into his face.
Yeah, exactly.
But he actually does a whole bunch of backflips and shit.
Yeah, he's just doing backflips everywhere.
He's like doing capoeira or something. Like he's flipping all over the place. But anyway, he's a thinking animal, which is why he has all his people hauling blocks around for no reason.
Yeah.
And I guess, what is it? Scar King comes down.
Yeah.
Sees what's going on, checks out Kong, makes fun of his tooth.
Yeah.
And then he sees Zuko, and he goes after him, and one of the apes goes to protect Zuko, and I think it might be his mother.
Yeah, it probably was the mother.
And then Scar King just back kicks her into a lava.
Yeah. Just kills her for no reason.
The movie's actually strangely brutal.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of gore in this for, like, I guess all the Monsterverse movies are.
Yeah.
Because they all have, like, Mortal Kombat finishers at the end of every fight. But anyway, Kong fights Scar King, and they're kind of at a standstill, and then we reveal that Scar King has, like, a crystal on the end of his whip, and he uses it to control a giant lizard named Shimo.
Yeah.
That is supposed to be the thing that caused the Ice Age.
Yeah.
I don't know how this crystal controls Shimo.
It kind of didn't make any sense because they live in like a lava world.
Yeah.
But
there's an ice
monster there.
Yeah.
That's like been there for years because Godzilla banished them into like that lava pit.
Oh yeah, so we get that too. That's actually something I would really like to see a comic of.
Yeah.
Or more information. Apparently, Godzilla fought Scar King and all the Kongs like a long time ago.
Yeah.
We know about the Godzilla Kong War from like years ago. It was bits and pieces have been in the comics. But apparently Scar King led an army up to the surface to fight Godzilla, and he nearly killed Godzilla.
Yeah.
But then Godzilla defeated them all.
Yeah.
And this is where one of the problems with Godzilla is in this movie, because that Godzilla is the one from 2014.
Yeah.
Which would be like, I mean, to use Dragon Ball terms, base Godzilla.
Yeah.
This is like Super Saiyan Godzilla, or like Godzilla, Super Saiyan God Godzilla.
Rose
fighting the same ape.
Yeah.
And his army.
His army they all look like they all have mange or something.
But yeah, I know. They're missing hair and stuff.
Yeah, they're just like really weird.
Here's the thing, like if Godzilla beat Scar King like 1,000 years ago or whenever, at a base form, how's Scar King supposed to beat like times 20 Godzilla?
Yeah, it's like Godzilla times 20 is like overpowering everything else.
There's no reason for him to, there's no reason for Kong. Kong's the entire plot, but there's no reason for him in this fight because Godzilla can take them all.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, Shimo comes out of its lava pit and then freezes Kong's arm.
Yeah.
And Kong leaves his axe behind. He has like frostbite all across his arm.
because like freezes his arm off.
And then he runs away and a bunch of Kongs chase him.
Yeah.
He teleports back to his home.
Yeah. He fast travels.
Well, he got back to the part. He's already traveled in that map, so he unlocked fast travel.
Yeah.
So now he goes back to his base, which we theorize because you're saying younger people don't watch, can only watch little clips at a time.
Yeah, just 5-minute videos or whatever, so it has to be very quick.
So movies now tend to do jump cuts and skip over things. So Kong has a bunch of traps a la Dutch and Predator.
Yeah.
Or Kevin McAllister or something. And
pretty much.
He's Home Alone. And he's got a bunch of traps set. He kills one of the Kongs with an Ewok trap. It was a log on a rope. And then the other one doesn't work, but then Zuko shows up, pulls the thing, somehow knew how the trap worked, and he collapses.
Yeah, because everyone's they saw the rope being tied on the other side. Is oh, there's a rope here.
Yeah. But then it doesn't matter, they still get screwed.
Yeah.
And then Zuko and Kong manage to stumble their way into the Iwi lair.
Yeah.
That everybody else is at. Because they just know they're there. I guess they said Kong sensed Gia.
Yeah, I think Gia was down there, so they kind of sensed Gia
They
there.
kind of have a semi-telepathic bond.
Yeah, because I think Skull Island's all about Kong worship or something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah, really, Skull Island was about worshipping Kong specifically, and these Iwi seem to be mostly about Mothra.
Yeah.
And so Kong shows up. He's badly injured, but Star-Lord notices that his arm's all frostbitten.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we need to get him some help. So I'm going to go get Operation Powerhouse.
Yeah, everyone's like, Powerhouse? What's that?
And the other person's, and then Andrews is like, in this part, the writing here is like textbook, like, I don't know, like Saturday morning cartoon or a comic book or something, because he's like, Operation Powerhouse. And then she's like, you can't be serious.
Yeah, you can't be serious.
You can't do that.
It's like, I already did.
The prototype wasn't tested yet. Yeah. And then he's like, well, it's the only chance we've got. And, like, that's literally the dialogue in that scene.
Like, go ahead, go get it. It's right where that base was at that got destroyed.
Yeah, it was at
the armory.
At the armory, at the base that got destroyed. So, apparently, Operation Powerhouse was the idea to make a mech suit for Kong.
Yeah.
Or, like, a mechanical arm or something.
In case something, like, something bad happens and you, like...
yeah, and actually...
You need superpowered Kong to do it.
I think they had a prototype full arm.
Yeah.
And I think the blueprint was Gypsy Danger's arm from Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But anyway, I guess they only finished the glove to, like, here.
Yeah.
Personally, I think this was, like, the start of a full-body mech suit.
Yeah, probably.
Like a Hulkbuster, which could be a Mecha Kong reference.
Probably.
But anyway, they only finished the glove to the elbow. Conveniently, it's the right hand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that would have been real awkward if it was the left hand.
Yeah.
So it happens to be the hand that's damaged. So anyway, he goes off, gets the glove, comes back in like 2 seconds. And then they give him the glove, and Kong grabs the glove.
Yeah, how did he get there so quickly? Like, he flew there.
He fast travels.
Yeah, it was, like, really weird. Just, like, got there, got the ship.
Yeah.
That was on the, like, I'm pretty sure that wasn't the ship they brought down. I think that was, like, the ship on the surface.
Yeah, because it had, like, a crane, like, the undercarriage.
Yeah, it went from there to over to where the base was at, went to the armory.
Yeah.
Got the glove and came back.
Got the beast glove.
In like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And then Kong gets the glove, strikes a primal rage pose.
Yeah, was there medicine in that glove?
Yeah, there was.
It was like, there was just like 3 containers of like, I don't know, the Secret of the Ooze TMNT thing or something. I don't know what it was.
It was the green herb juice.
Yeah, green herb. Like 3 green herbs ground down.
It was 3 first aid sprays in a canister, and then they gave it to him, and Kong grabs his glove, and he does the primal rage cover.
Yeah, because he's like, this will help his arm.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you had all this stuff already here?
Of course. Okay. Yeah. It's all in the armory.
Yeah, it's all in the armory.
Everything's in the armory.
It's also the med bay.
It doesn't matter. It's in the armory. So if things had gone south and Godzilla needed, like, a robot, like, tail...
Yeah.
It's in the armory.
Yeah. Pre-install with medication.
Yeah. So, anyway, Kong's, like, he's all ready to go. He's got his new glove, but even with his new glove, even with the power glove...
Yeah. It's so bad.
He can't defeat Shimo and Scar King, and like he has like 20 henchmen with him.
Yeah, and he's like, we need more help.
So Gia tells him he needs help. Kong, with less than a second, Kong runs up to the surface and disappears.
Yeah.
And Andrews is like, oh, no, wait. Never mind, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
So he's going to go tell Godzilla, who hates his guts.
Yeah.
Godzilla he comes out in Egypt, the scene that's in all the trailers. Yeah. They really like this scene of the Transformer arm coming out.
Yeah, coming out of the Unicron, coming out of the ground.
Yeah, they love this scene. And Godzilla's on the Rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah.
And somehow Kong and Godzilla see each other.
Yeah.
From the other side of the Mediterranean.
Yeah, like, it's you!
Because Kong's just like, yeah, I got this glove, man.
Yeah, come here.
And then Godzilla's like, you bastard. And he just takes a swan dive off the Rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Which kind of looks like a scene from Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. Has a scene like that. And then he swims all the way across the Mediterranean in like 2.5 seconds. And pops up at Cairo. Comes running at Kong full speed.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I could see Godzilla being pissed. Because Kong shows up with this, like, super weapon.
Yeah.
And he's running around waving it around. Like, look what I got.
Yeah.
And Godzilla's like, you son of a bitch. Like, I thought I beat you. Thought we agreed you weren't coming up here, and now you're coming up here with weaponry? Like,
yeah.
So, Godzilla coming right at him. This part's one of my other favorite parts of the movie. So my favorite part of the movie, well, also Godzilla sleeps in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Looks like he makes a cat bed.
Yeah.
And they like coral. That's pretty cute. But I like that, and I like when he used Suko as a blunt instrument.
Yeah.
He's beating people over the head with babies.
Yeah.
And then my other favorite scene is where Kong has the portal. So the portal's off to the side here. I'm going to get him right to the camera. And Godzilla's coming at him. And Kong's just like, hey, we got the portal. Let's go in the portal. And Godzilla's still running at him. And Kong's just like, hey, the portal, you're not stopping, are you? And then Godzilla comes right at him, and Kong's like, oh no!
It's like, oh no!
Kong's face is like, oh god, no! He just gets smashed like right through the pyramid. It's great.
Then he gets like suplexed.
Oh god, Godzilla does like a backdrop on Kong where he just like that old like wrestling move where you lift the guy up completely vertically in the air and then fall back in like a suplex. Godzilla does that on him. It's like the textbook WWE backdrop.
Like textbook backdrop with WWE. It definitely felt like a wrestling match.
Yeah, it was great. But the original King Kong vs. Godzilla is like a commentated wrestling match.
If you watch the original, it's very similar.
Yeah, it looks like a wrestling match.
As long as they don't have rocks that they're throwing at each other.
Yeah, Kong does like a Seoinage judo throw on Godzilla in the original.
Yeah.
So, plus whips him around like Mario 64 with the tail.
Yeah.
So here they do that. Kong and Godzilla fight for a bit. Godzilla clearly has Kong like way overmatched.
Yeah.
Like Godzilla beat him the last time. Godzilla beat him so bad in an earlier stage that he stopped his heart.
Yeah.
And then here he's 20 times stronger.
Yeah.
So that fight goes well. But luckily Gia manages to summon Mothra.
Yeah.
So in the classic movies, you had to sing a song to get Mothra to come. The fairies had to sing a song. Here we don't have any Shobijin or fairies.
No.
We have a likely mute person. So it's a good thing you didn't have to sing a song, because that would have been difficult. But anyway, she walks up this pyramid, and then she puts her hand like on nothing.
Yeah.
And then Mothra just appears.
Yeah, she does like the Chris Pratt thing.
Like the force on the raptors.
Yeah. It's like, what?
She puts her hand up, and then Mothra just like materializes.
Yes.
Like where was Mothra?
Everywhere.
Like in a different dimension or something?
Yes.
Like she just appeared in the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't understand it. Like, I didn't understand where Mothra just showed up.
Yeah, she's just there. But it's not like she came out of a lair or something.
No.
She just like there's nothing in front of Gia, and then Mothra's there.
Yeah, Mothra just appears.
Yeah, so then Gia climbs on Mothra's head or whatever, and they go flying off. That's the thing that happens in the Godzilla movies sometimes. Like, the fairies and stuff ride Mothra all the time. So anyway, they go there. Godzilla's about to kill Kong again, because he's had his nonsense.
Yeah.
And then Mothra shows up and, like, does a solar flare on him.
Yeah.
And knocks him back. And then Mothra explains the situation, which is a callback to Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster.
Yeah.
From 1964. Where Mothra was like a mediator between Rodan and Godzilla.
Yeah.
Here, it's between Kong and Godzilla. So Mothra like explains the situation because Godzilla's an ally of Mothra.
Yeah.
He listens to her. Then they come down into the Hollow Earth. There's some like nonsense explanation, but for some reason the two pyramids are now touching. And if the pyramids touch, there's no gravity.
Yeah. Because I think they use like ancient whatever technology or whatever it's
ancient
called.
Liquid metal.
Yeah, ancient liquid metal that they just throw into the river or something, or whatever, that water that was in there.
Yeah, they pour the T-1000 into a river, and then it causes there to be no gravity anymore.
Yeah, because like the two pieces like extend out to each other, and then the gravity goes away for a couple minutes.
Yeah, for exactly like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Podcast knows all of this information.
Yeah, he was like, it does this?
He knows everything. He knows all the details. He knows
Got it on Discord.
He has this Discord chat.
Yeah.
And they told him that liquid metal could take gravity out of the atmosphere for exactly 2.5 minutes. So that's going on. Scar King comes in. They fight for a bit. Star-Lord left with the plane.
Yeah.
Earlier in the movie, there's a bunch of like pterosaurs that are electric, or like basically electric.
Yeah.
And they have like a electricity self-defense mechanism.
Yeah.
That's like a lightning bolt, he says. He comes back with like a whole swarm of them, start playing like this rock music.
Yeah, I think he said it was for mating. It was like mating call or something.
Yeah, the music's the mating call.
AC/DC is like, or whatever song they were playing.
He watched, no, what happened is he watched the third J.J. Abrams Star Trek film.
Yeah, that's true.
This exact scene is in that movie, except for it was Beastie Boys in that, I think.
Probably.
And, that scene happens again. The pterosaurs all, like, stun them momentarily.
Yeah.
Shimo manages to kill them all with the ice breath, but in that time, Godzilla and Kong come flying through the portal.
Yeah, and that's where the scene where that shows in the trailer where they're running.
Yeah.
And it's like, everyone made fun of that scene, but if I actually watching the movie,
fine.
it looks fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
And obviously, they did shorten it, because it's very short. It's like, it literally just shows up, like, for 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool in the movie.
Yeah.
And they're running at them. Kong, like, Scar King's riding Shimo like a horse.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla and Kong are running at him. Kong jumps on Godzilla's back and, like, leaps off of him.
Yeah.
And there's the scene from Spider-Man Homecoming, when they're all coming at each other in slow-mo.
Yeah.
And they're, like, 3 villains and 3 Spider-Men, and they come at each other. And this exact thing happens here.
Yeah.
Kong and Scar King are going at each other in slow-mo, and Godzilla and Shimo. And then it turns into this wild anti-grav fight where everybody's doing like backflips in the air and flying around, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was the coolest Marvel fight I've seen in years.
It's like Age of Ultron or something.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me. Yeah, it reminded me of that, or it reminded me of. Everybody hates this movie, but I like it. Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
The final fight where they have the portals everywhere.
Yeah.
It was sort of like that, and with 0G. So that combined with like a fight from Guardians of the Galaxy or something.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was a really full, like a really awesome fight scene.
Mm.
Eventually, the gravity drops back, and Mothra's there too. Mothra's like webbing up Kongs. Suko's hitting them with rocks, and then Godzilla's mostly fighting Shimo. Kong's mostly fighting Scar King.
Yeah.
The zero gravity cuts out, everything drops, and they go through the portal, and they end up in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
In Brazil. And Shimo, like, freezes everything.
Like, Shima's, like, shooting the ice beam into the sky for some reason.
To cause the Ice Age.
Yeah, to cause the Ice Age.
The Ice Age! Because Scar King is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
So, for some reason, Scar King, an ape that's balding severely.
Yeah, that lives next to, like, lava.
Wants the Ice Age.
Well, I didn't understand that at all, but...
Yeah, Scar King's motivations are unclear.
He must be certifiably insane.
Yeah, he's happy because he's insane.
Yeah.
His goals are beyond your understanding.
Yes.
So...
Beyond human comprehension.
He's a thinking animal. Okay?
Yes.
Bring that clip up from King Kong vs. Godzilla.
Yeah.
But, so there's a giant 4-way fight in Rio.
Yeah.
Which is also really cool. Godzilla, and it's still Godzilla versus Shimo primarily, and Kong versus Scar King.
Yeah.
They have a big scuffle. It's a pretty long fight, actually.
Yeah, this is by far the longest scene.
And especially considering that really the fight from Godzilla fighting Kong until the end of the movie is basically one drawn out fight scene.
Yeah.
It's like probably 20 minutes with some like maybe 20-second break in between, but it's pretty long. And you can see everything. It doesn't suffer.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of the daytime.
It's daytime. The camera is close, but it's not so close you can't see what's going on.
You don't see like an eyeball or something.
It's not Transformers.
Yeah.
Transformers, the camera.
That's like the worst. I think that's like the worst offender in all these movies.
Yeah, Transformers. I think Transformers movies would be tolerable if the camera wasn't like in Optimus Prime's ass the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
is it an exhaust?
It's like stuck in his exhaust pipe the entire fight.
It's like great.
Or in his grill or something.
Yeah, it's like, what?
But, what? But, yeah, they're... I don't know. Like, that's the problem with those. This one, the fights are good.
Yeah, Adam Wingard did a pretty decent job directing the fight scenes. I'm assuming he did the direction of that, but...
Yeah, same with Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
That was... The first fight was in the daytime. The second fight was at night, but it was in Hong Kong.
A very lit part of nighttime.
Yeah, which is like very neon lights and all that kind of stuff. And then the third fight was in the daytime with Mechagodzilla. So, like, that had daytime and nighttime fights. This movie is all daytime.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a plus. We can see what's going on. There's no cutaways, which was the biggest offender from Godzilla 2014 and King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
I like King of the Monsters a lot, but, like, it does cut away from the fights. But here, there's no cutaways.
No.
The humans just get out of the way whenever fighting happens.
Yeah, because they're, like, just tiny. They're microscopic compared to everything else.
Right. And the scale is a little wonky in this, but that's because the movie's from, like, the Kaiju's
Yeah, you're at the Kaiju's point of view, and they're, like, a lot bigger than everything else.
Yeah, because we even get a shot of Scar King looking down at the beachgoers.
Yeah.
Which isn't a shot you normally get. You occasionally get them in Godzilla movies, like GMK has a shot like that. But for the most part, it's always people looking up at the kaiju, and we got that in -1. So this is like a perfect companion to -1.
Yeah.
Because if you watch -1 and you watch this, you've seen like the whole gamut of what Godzilla is.
Yeah.
For decades. Like it's kind of both sides.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the fight goes on. Eventually, Suko comes in with the axe.
Yeah.
Kong left it behind by accident. And Suko comes in, he smashes the crystal that controls Shimo. And then from that point on,
Shimo's not, like, controlled by Scar King anymore.
Right. And that's having a kaiju be mind-controlled is a common trope in the Showa era. So, like, once that happens, Scar King's screwed.
Yeah.
It's like a triple combo, and then Shimo freezes him, and then Kong shatters him.
Yeah, it just like shatters him to the ground, and like just punches his pieces into more smaller pieces.
Yeah. And he shatters those pieces.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is basically the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's literally it.
Movie pretty much ends like a minute after the fight's over. Godzilla goes back to sleep in his cat bed.
Yeah.
In the Coliseum, and then Kong goes back down to the newly discovered territory.
Where he becomes Ape King or whatever.
Yes. I think the new empire is Kong's empire.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was meant to be Scar King's, but in the end it's Kong's.
Yeah.
And so he takes over Scar King's empire, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, and then Gia goes home with
Andrews. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I felt it was fun. We nitpicked a lot of the goofiness of it. The plot's not well explained.
Yeah.
I feel this story... I'm somebody that's really invested in the comics.
Yeah.
And really enjoys the novelizations. Like, if you want to see the full story of these... I suggest the novels because
there's whole scenes in this movie where it's basically the monkeys talking.
Yeah,
they don't have any dialogue, so it's all about with like either the grunts or whatever. Like I don't know what that's even called.
Yeah, like simple signs.
Yeah, signs or pointing or whatever. But they are talking. They're communicating somehow.
Right. A sizable chunk of the movie is through ape communication, which. You can get the gist of, but maybe not the details.
Yeah.
And in a book format, they would focus more on the details.
Yeah, probably get a little more of the dialogue, what they're actually saying.
What the apes are saying to each other. And it might be more explanation for, like, Godzilla's motivations or Scar King. They might explain where the crystal comes from.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Is like, where does this guy get this crystal from?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like any other crystal.
Yeah, because he got banished by Godzilla, but he has this crystal that controls... Shimo, and somehow
where does Shimo
got it.
even come from?
Yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of questions. But like I said, if you want to find out more about these movies, I would suggest reading the novelizations because they're not the same. The events are the same, but they embellish everything.
Yeah.
Like Godzilla vs. Kong goes almost 5 chapters before the movie starts in the book. So there's a lot of information that they cut out of the movie. And I feel this would be the same. Also, I really want to get the art book for this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every one of those Kongs probably has a name and...
Probably.
Like some information. And that would be in the art book.
Yeah, because like that one, like Suko, I'm assuming the mother, but it doesn't really.
Right.
It's kind of hard to tell because it's
yeah,
they're like apes, so you don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, some apes do like a thing where all the women raise all the children kind of thing, so it could be like that, but
yeah,
yeah. So I would recommend this movie.
Yeah,
anybody that just likes entertaining films.
Yeah, if you want to watch a movie, it's like if you have like an hour and 40 minutes or something, it's like, oh, I want to watch something but don't know what to watch.
Yeah.
That's probably a good one to watch.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of the old Showa era Godzilla movies, which a lot of Americans grew up with, because we didn't get like some of the newer, the 80s and 90s ones we didn't really have in the 90s or even early 2000s. We started getting them finally.
Yeah.
But if you grew up with Godzilla before, like from the 90s or earlier, then you grew up with the old Godzilla movies from the 50s and 60s and 70s. And those movies get into a lot of goofy stuff, and some of it's far wackier than anything that's in this movie.
Yeah. This one's pretty fairly tame than, like I said, that one with Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Him falling down, like, he threw a rock and he did, like, a weird somersault into the rock.
He knocked himself out, yeah.
It didn't make any sense.
No, and they take Kong to the fight by balloon.
Yeah, it really is really, it's like, he has, like, weather balloons. I don't know what it was,
It's wackiness.
Yeah.
But I love those movies. I grew up with them. Like, I'm, like, an expert on all that crap. So, like, I could do videos go on forever about those. But I fully recognize how ridiculous they are.
Yeah.
Even though I know the in-universe explanations, and half the time there isn't one.
Yeah.
So,
this one they really do explain a lot of the stuff, so.
Yeah, it's sci-fi gobbledygook jargon.
Yeah, it's like that techno jargon or techno babble.
Yeah, but it's at least an attempt at explaining what's going on. Sort of like the Heisei series in that sense, where they tried to explain things. Even if the science isn't sound, they at least give an explanation.
Could be like, oh, it's the beta rays hitting the gamma rays and lighting up the glove into this thing. And it's like, what? Yeah,
it's goofy, but at least they explain it. So, now that this movie came out, it ends in a good place.
Yeah, because this movie feels like a definitive ending of a series. Like,
like
where would they go after this? But this movie made a lot of money. Let's say that.
Yeah, it's looking at about 200 million worldwide for international, worldwide.
Yeah.
About 80 million domestic, which is huge in the present climate in theaters.
Yeah.
That's nearly what Godzilla 2014 did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is like unheard of feats now, because now we have streaming and it's post-pandemic and
people don't go to the theater as they used to anymore.
Right, everything changed. People don't people don't avoid the theaters because of COVID anymore. However, I think 3 years or whatever of the pandemic changed people's routines.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think people still don't go to the theater because of the routine they put themselves in during the pandemic. So a lot of people are much more willing just to stream stuff.
Yeah.
But this movie benefits from not being on streaming right away.
That's why I get the numbers they have right now.
Yeah, because Godzilla vs. Kong did less, but it was also same day HBO Max release.
Yeah.
So where you could go from here, Adam Wingard has said he would be open to directing another one, and he apparently has ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's the right choice for another one. He doesn't seem to know what to do with Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla is just like an afterthought, to be honest, in this one.
In both films. Godzilla vs. Kong is primarily a Kong-driven film, too.
Yeah.
This one's even more so a Kong-driven film.
Yeah.
So I think going forward, I would suggest breaking them up. Having a Kong movie and a Godzilla standalone movie. And then maybe do another Godzilla vs. Kong. Because I feel like right now you're in a rut where you're just doing Justice League or Avengers movies back to back.
Godzilla divided by Kong.
Yes. Yeah, you need Godzilla divided. Godzilla minus Kong.
Yeah, Godzilla minus Kong. Yeah, there you go.
The next one.
That would be the Godzilla's standalone film.
Yeah, Godzilla's standalone movie with
Godzilla minus
Kong. So I think that would be a good choice. I think maybe a different director, especially for the Godzilla one. Maybe bring Michael Dougherty back for the Godzilla.
Yeah, they probably could do that.
And then maybe have Wingard do the Kong movie.
Yeah, because it seems like Wingard does a really good job with Kong, so...
Or bring back the guy that did Skull Island.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty good movie too. So
it's like Voight Roberts or I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, he could do Kong again, and then do another Godzilla versus Kong like a few years down the line. Mm-hmm. That would be my suggestion. As far as threats go, they did say they only mapped 5% of the Hollow Earth, so you could do a lot more in the Hollow Earth for Kong. Godzilla, personally, I would say go aliens.
Yeah, they probably should go with aliens.
Because you've already mentioned aliens numerous times as a joke.
Yeah.
But it would be almost more of a joke to have them actually show up.
Yeah.
Have the podcast guy going on ranting about aliens or something, and then the aliens arrive.
Aliens actually arrive. And
for people that maybe think that's crazy, aren't familiar with the original Godzilla films.
Yeah.
From 1965 to 75, and that's not counting Toho films that aren't Godzilla.
Yeah.
There's at least 4 or 5 alien invasions in the original series.
Yeah.
Like, aliens are a common problem with Godzilla. Planet X attacks in Monster Zero. That's a King Ghidorah movie.
Yeah.
You have the Kilax in Destroy All Monsters. You have the Nebula Space Hunter M aliens or whatever in Godzilla vs. Gigan, which are cockroach people, which would probably be pretty cool with decent effects.
Yeah.
Kind of imagine them almost like Edgar and Men in Black or something. And,
there you go.
There was monkey people from the third planet from the black hole. That's some good names here.
There you go.
And they are the ones that built Mechagodzilla originally. So we've already did Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, we already did Mechagodzilla.
But yeah, you could do that. So there's 4 alien species from the Godzilla movies that you potentially could use, or of course just make your own.
Yeah, make your own or something. Or
make up something that's like an amalgamation of all of them or something like that.
I mean, if they even had Space Godzilla.
Yeah, they could have Space Godzilla.
You almost need the only thing is you need a threat that's kind of like as strong as your 20 times strength Godzilla now.
Yeah. Or like a more powerful Ghidorah.
Yeah, it'd be like Ghidorah shows up again.
Like, make a new one. Emperor Ghidorah or Kaiser Ghidorah. They've done that already. So you could do that, or like Death Ghidorah. And there's a bunch of different versions of Ghidorah.
Yeah.
That are canon already, unless you want to make your own Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Or a clone of Ghidorah that's like powered up or something. Like, you could do a lot of stuff with that. You could do Space Godzilla. You could do Destroyer, because they used the Oxygen Destroyer already randomly.
Yeah.
In King of the Monsters, they just killed all oxygen in the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah. So
yes,
that was nice of the military to do that.
Yeah.
And knock out Godzilla in the process. Did nothing to Ghidorah because he doesn't breathe oxygen.
Yes.
But yeah, so there's lots of options. And of course Biollante could happen for any reason, because that's just a mad scientist messing with plant cells. So,
and we already know that there's plants that kill people and eat people in this world.
Yeah, they have established that. So yeah, lots of different ideas you could throw around. Yeah. Apparently Wingard said there are ideas, so we will see.
Yeah, we will see.
So I'm pretty excited for more Godzilla, both from Japan and from Legendary Pictures.
Yes.
I think this is really cool now as a lifelong Godzilla fan to see like just this constant bombardment of Godzilla movies is really great, especially since we've gone like decades with no Godzilla movie from time to time. So I think that's going to do it for our review of Godzilla Kong, The New Empire.
Yes.
So if you like this video, hit the like button. Tell us what you thought of the movie in the comments below, and consider subscribing for more content like this in the future. And you too can feel the strength welling within. See ya.